So It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello and welcome, everybody. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith. We're glad to have you with us on 2K Sports. For tonight's game, we'll be watching the Boston Celtics as they go up against the Milwaukee Bucks. Well, for Milwaukee, they're looking to come out strong and make their mark early. They have to look at this game as a great opportunity to do just that. Well, the Bucks had teased it during the playoffs, and finally, it's been revealed. So what do you think, Shaq, about the Bucks' new logo?
Well, it's a sexy transition from red to gold. You know, it's pretty cool. The secondary logo, and I know this for a fact, it incorporates the state of Milwaukee. I know this, Ernie, because you're from the mean streets of Milwaukee.
I am from but it's a city of Milwaukee, not the state of Milwaukee. The state of Wisconsin.
No, same thing, Ernie. You know what I'm talking about.
I did grow up on the mean streets of Milwaukee. Yeah, I did.
That deer kind of looks menacing now instead of like from a children's book, so I'm a little nervous, man.
So it doesn't look like a deer in the headlights.
It doesn't look like a deer in the headlight. I don't know if the 10 years and under are going to like this new deer, but everyone 10 years over are going to love it.
That's the Bucks.
Oh,
you know,
I thought
fear
it was
the deer.
antelope.
Fear the deer. You know,
it was an antelope.
It's antelope.
The Milwaukee Antelopes?
Antelope, deer, moose, same thing. They all got tentacles or whatever you call it.
Tentacles? No, they don't have tentacles either.
Antlers.
Oh, antlers,
antlers,
yeah.
You know what? You are totally dialed in on the whole Milwaukee franchise.
I don't watch the Animal Channel that much.
I see that.
Obviously.
No
okay.
question.
Here's Kevin Harlan, who's got the call.
Tentacles.
Welcome, everyone, to this 2K Sports broadcast live in Milwaukee at BMO Harris Bradley Center, bringing you another edition of the NBA on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan to call the game with our analysts Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony.
All right, ready to go? Ready to go?
Tip-off goes to Milwaukee. All fueled up and ready to go. Brought to you by Gatorade. Let's check out who's on the floor. On the floor for Boston, Thomas is the point with Bradley to his side. Amir Johnson is out there with Jared Sullinger. And it's Crowder in at the 3 slot.
And really a fantastic season for Sullinger last year. Really made some leaps forward, but missed a lot of time still due to injury.
And he gets the bucket. Thomas got the first points up on the board for Boston. On defense, Boston. Antetokounmpo kicks to Middleton. Bucks passing it around. Thomas against Carter Williams. He feeds it to Antetokounmpo. 5 to shoot. Middleton against Bradley. And he gets it to go.
I like the recognition of the mismatch there, immediately making the defense pay.
Johnson with a screen on Parker. Thomas passes to Johnson. Johnson the screen. Middleton against Bradley. That one rolling around and rims out.
And Jason Kidd has seen a lot of things in his first few years of coaching. Already changed teams once and had some personnel issues, but you cannot deny that he knows how to get the most out of his team.
Here's Thomas. Jabari Parker making his last shot. Left side, Thomas puts it up. Here's Sullinger. Here's Crowder. And the 3 ball is good. Crowder's got himself on the board with 3 there.
How in the world did they let him get that wide open?
And with Kidd, the results on the floor, Greg, speak for themselves. He knows what he wants out of his players, Clark, and he keeps them accountable.
And, you know, having that accountability is what made the Bucks so much better last season. Kidd is still a very young head coach, but I tell you what, he's shown me a bright future in that capacity for himself.
Here's Thomas. After the made shot from Greg Monroe. Sullinger a screen on Parker. It's Bradley on the wing. Shoots off the screen. Can't get it to go. Now the Bucks take it the other way. 35 seconds left in the first quarter of the game. Antetokounmpo kicks to Monroe. Parker left side. Rebound Boston. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
And I like the fact that the defense is looking to protect the rim at all costs.
Definitely saved a layup with that foul, and he'll make him earn them from the line, and that's what you want to see.
Boston shooting their first free throws. First trip to the line in this one. 2 shots. The first one falls. Both teams will make substitutions. And both free throws good from Crowder. There's 18 seconds left to play here in the first. Now Bayless. Henson with the screen. Mayo drives in. That misses, so no good on his first attempt of the night. A good close contest so far as we finish the first quarter. Celtics lead by 1. And we'll get going after this from the BMO Harris Bradley Center. Up to this point, a closely contested game as we start the second quarter. And the Celtics guys, what jumps out to you stats-wise?
They seem to be a step slower, and that's one reason why they've been able to own the rebounding edge.
Well, the anticipation's been better. As the ball hits the rim, it's gone right to them. Solid job of them chasing it down and anticipating.
The Celtics with the lead. Well, Milwaukee last year became just the 9th team in NBA history to go from Greg being the worst in the league to a playoff team.
Unbelievable what they accomplished. And they had a tough matchup in the first round with the playoff season Bulls, however. Things didn't go well, but they did get some valuable experience from that effort.
We've got John Henson, Mayo out there with Jared Bayless, and then there's Antetokounmpo. And it's Plumlee in at the 5, roaming the paint. So that's who Milwaukee starts the second with. And there's the pass to Olynyk. A tad short, but it's good off the front iron. Olynyk's got the second quarter going with the first basket of the period for the Celtics.
Well, as you said, guys, I mean, the Bucks struggled early in their series against the Bulls, but they got the momentum and forced a game 6, but then were blown out at home to end the series. Ended up losing by 54. That's right, 54. Wow.
Now here's Crowder. O.J. Mayo missing his last shot. Crowder dishes to Uredko. And that one's good.
Right now, they've got that field goal percentage up in the low 50s.
Putting it together offensively, looking to build some more momentum. And as you said, the Bucks lost on their home floor. One thing about that series is the Bucks introduced their new logo. They gave away free playoff tickets to anyone that turned in their old red gear. Not a bad deal in my book.
Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
Thank you, Kevin. Brad Stevens had some words for his team over the break. He told his guys that their offense needed to run through Sullinger. Coach reminded them that he is supposed to be the key factor tonight, and he still wants to see that happen. So, Kevin, changes already being made on the fly here in the second quarter.
And thanks for that story, Doris.
Textbook. Nice pass, great catch, even better finish.
Second quarter of basketball, just over a minute and a half played so far.
Well, I think the defense got lucky right there. I mean, he's going to make a lot more of those than he misses when he's got that much room.
Carter Williams kicks to Middleton. No good. And it's Boston the other way. Bradley passes to Thomas. Johnson the screen. Thomas goes in, and Parker with the block. But they'll get another chance. Turner dishes to Sullinger. Sullinger the screen. Bradley kicks to Sullinger. Tries again. That's short off the rim.
I guess even he has to miss one of those once in a while.
Vasquez passes to Monroe. Carter Williams dishes to Parker. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. He's getting his first free throw attempt of the night right now.
You know, when you look at his numbers this season, he's had a respectable number, 77%.
We've seen some obvious improvement in his free throw shooting since last year.
Shooting two. Shooting two.
And he knocks down the first one. So 1 for 2 that time at the stripe. Shot and game clock separated by 5. Outside Thomas. Johnson the screen. Thomas kicks to Johnson. Stolen by Monroe. Carter Williams against Thomas. From 13. And the shot is good. Dropping in off the front of the rim. And that's now 6 points for Greg Monroe. And that'll do it for the first half. Game time. And we'll be back right after halftime to get the third quarter underway.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, everybody. Ernie Johnson here, joined by Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. We welcome you to the halftime show on 2K Sports. A competitive matchup for Milwaukee in the first quarter. Their field goal percentage was a robust 50% in the period. That's something they can hang their hat on. The second quarter was a strong effort for them as they continued to battle, and they were able to close out the half in a good position. Kenny, your thoughts on the Bucks' first half?
They were simply the better team on the offensive end. Every time the defense made an adjustment, they would make an adjustment on offense. Winning that little cat and mouse game, they'll be difficult to beat.
And Shaq, your thoughts on the Celtics?
They're shooting way too much from the mid-range and the outside. The offense lacks dimension, and that could really hurt them in the second half, Ronnie. I like to see their bigs get down and dirty. They got to play way tougher.
And that's it for halftime as the second half is just about to get underway. See you after the game.
Welcome back, everyone. The second half about to get underway, and it's been a close one so far. Greg Monroe with a strong contribution so far in this one.
And he really just broke out the entire arsenal of post moves there in that first half.
And I think he might even have a few more tricks up his sleeve. I mean, he'll break them out as we start heading down the stretch. I'm sure of that.
And the Celtics shooting about 33%, not happy with their play on that end. Second half underway. Here's who Brad Stevens got on the floor. Thomas is the point with Bradley to his side. Jay Crowder out there with Amir Johnson. And it's Sullinger in at the pivot spot, manning the middle.
Well, so far for Coach Brad Stevens, the Celtics have had nothing but praise for their outstanding young coach. No surprise for those of us who know Brad. The team is really moving ahead in the rebuilding process, and he gets a lot of the credit for that.
And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there. It's going to be on Avery Bradley. And part of the reason why the Celtics are ahead of schedule in the rebuild is because of Coach Brad Stevens. He has everyone on the same page.
You know what? You talk around the league about Coach Stevens, and other coaches are just astounded by his work ethic. People around the league think he's already a top coach and could be one of the greats by the time he's done if he stays at the professional level.
And that drops, so they now lead by 1. And Jabari Parker as a rookie, drafted number 2 overall behind Andrew Wiggins. Clark, there was much debate about which of these players, which of these prospects would be better NBA players. What do you think?
Well, I think both showed they're very capable of being stars in the league. Parker got off to a great start, averaging 30 minutes a game until, unfortunately, he had the ACL injury. And Wiggins, conversely, went on to have a big-time season, winning Rookie of the Year.
Now here's Thomas. Johnson up top, covered by Parker. To the wing right side. 6 to shoot. At the elbow, Sullinger. Rebounded by Greg Monroe.
And when you compare Wiggins and Parker, really 2 different types of players. I mean, Wiggins has that unmatchable athleticism. Parker beats you with an incredible skill and passion. Also, tremendous maturity for such a young player.
Now it's Thomas running. He can go all the way. There's the bucket. Good. Thomas got the game tied up here for Boston.
Wow, the floor just really opened up for him on that possession.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for good offense, but that was just a terrible reaction from the defense.
A different look for Milwaukee. John Henson's checked in for Monroe. Mayo comes in for Parker, and Jared Bayless subbed in for Carter Williams. Then for the Celtics, Olynyk, he's checked in for Sullinger. Jerebko comes in for Johnson, and Marcus Smart is subbed in for Bradley.
And, you know, going back to Parker versus Wiggins, guys, I mean, that debate could last a long time. Both guys have the look of perennial all-stars. It could be the number of championship rings that ultimately separates them.
And no matter who it is, that kind of D isn't going to get it done.
1:15 left to play in the third. Jerebko can't get it to go.
Boy, with an open look like that, he is so gifted. Man, you've got to play better defense. Eventually, he's going to make you pay.
Yeah, you can see he's still in rhythm, even though he misses that one. Almost always deadly when he's that open.
Clark, they've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a little bit of cottonmouth here. Dry spell for sure.
That one falls, coming off of Thomas's feet. Jerebko's got his second basket of the night.
Really nice dime dropping there. Playmaking ability is exactly what you get from Isaiah Thomas.
Kicks it to Bayless. The Bucks working the ball around. They set the pick. Pass to Henson. Goes up at the stripe. They get it again. On Antetokounmpo. And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. It's his first trip to the line.
Giannis Antetokounmpo at the line for 2.
First free throw is good. A different look for Milwaukee. Plumlee comes in for Chris Middleton. And it's Vasquez in for O.J. Mayo. Boston also with the sub. Turner's checked in. The free throw is good from Antetokounmpo. Well, we're into the third quarter, just over 2.5 minutes played. Thomas kicks to Olynyk. Outside for Thomas. There's a screen. And Jerebko has it in the corner. From outside, off the mark. Now here's Vasquez. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him. 1 second left. And Antetokounmpo with the basket on the assist by Vasquez. And the Bucks lead by 5. And we've watched 3 so far in this one. Bucks ahead, up 5. And we're just moments away from the start of the 4th quarter. Stay with us. And we're set to start the action up here in the 4th quarter. And if it's anything like the first 3, we should be in for a treat. Bucks leading by 5. The dynamite pair of Antetokounmpo and Parker at forward. Carter Williams is out there with Vasquez. And it's Monroe in at the 5 spot. That's the group for Milwaukee right now. And for the Celtics, they're shooting 33% for the night. That's a big thorn in their side right now. Here's Sullinger, rebounded by Greg Monroe. Monroe's got 3 rebounds now in this one. Here's Parker. That falls. Great assist by Vasquez. Vasquez has got 3 assists in the game. To the wing on the left. Feeds it to Smart. Back to Sullinger. That one a tad offline to the right, but drops in for him.
Yeah, quick trigger. And from that range, if he senses the defenders have backed off, forget about it.
To the left side wing. Here's Vasquez. A chance to extend the lead to double digits, but it's no good. Outside Turner. To the right side. Here's Sullinger. Hits the outside fadeaway. And now it's only a 5-point Bucks lead.
Oh, a fantastic quarter for him here in the 4th. I mean, efficiency personified here.
A moment to check in with Doris Burke. Doris?
Hi, Kevin. Jason Kidd was just going over the plan with his team. He told the players, let's put our foot on them and keep them down. We've got them exactly where we want them. I want to see you guys slow the pace, use the clock, and stay away from any silly fouls.
And the Bucks making a change here. Middleton's checked in. Here's Middleton. Screen by Monroe. 4th quarter now. We're about a minute and a half in.
Look at the night for Monroe. He's got 8 points, and he's added a steal to his stat line also.
You know what? The number is not huge, but he has been doing some valuable defensive work for them.
In a moment now to quickly take a look at the offensive approach for the Bucks.
They keep piling up the assists, and they haven't cooled off at all.
Another thing they've done tonight is work the ball into the paint for plenty of those close-range points. You got to have those.
So the first one drops, and that increases their lead to 6. And so both free throws are good, and it's a 7-point game.
Job well done at the line on that possession. They'll make things a little easier on themselves if they can convert those.
Greg Monroe with a strong contribution so far in this one.
I mean, he's getting to the rack all game, and if they can't do a better job of keeping him out of the paint, they're in for a long night.
About a minute and a half into the 4th quarter now. And Turner kicks to Sullinger. Fires from the wing. Rebounded by the Bucks. Carter Williams has got his 3rd rebound on the night. He dishes it to Antetokounmpo. Parker passes to Carter Williams. kicks to Monroe. Parker sets the screen for Monroe. Missed inside.
Good little two-man action there, but they just can't get the shot to fall.
Yeah, but that was a beauty. Good-looking shot, well-executed play. I wouldn't be surprised to see them go back to it.
That's what we call good defense in the paint. Worth its weight in gold.
It absolutely is, and maybe even more than that. I mean, you saw it right there. Without his presence, that's an easy basket.
Now, here's Antetokounmpo. The jump hook, and Monroe with the basket on the assist from Antetokounmpo.
He really made that mismatch pay off. The defender giving up that much size isn't going to be able to put up much resistance near the basket.
A platoon swap here for Milwaukee. And a new group in for the Celtics. Kelly Olynyk checked in for Jared Sullinger. Jerebko comes in for Amir Johnson. Smart's checked in for Avery Bradley. And it's Rozier in for Evan Turner. Here's Rozier. Knocks down the three ball.
Clearly, a defensive breakdown there, guys. They didn't play him close enough on the inbound and then gave up the triple.
Bayless dishes to Vasquez. In the corner, Mayo with it. Pass to Plumlee. And they go to the intentional foul.
Kelly Olynyk. That's his first personal foul. At the line for your Bucks, Miles Plumlee. 2 shots.
And that hurts as he doesn't get the first one to fall. Trying to focus now on the second. That's good, going 1 of 2 from the line, and that makes it a 7-point lead. Second separating the shot clock and game clock. Thomas kicks to Crowder. Thomas passes to Crowder. Boston, no good that time either. Outside, Antetokounmpo. And so the Bucks take the win. Probably a little closer than they would have liked it, but Clark, a win nonetheless.
Yeah, and it appeared to me as though the fans gave them the emotional boost they needed down the stretch, Kevin. This crowd was not going to let this one slip away.
Thank you for joining us. That'll do it for now. For Clark, Greg, and Doris, and the rest of our terrific crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. See you later.
The 2K Sports post-game show.
Thank you, Kevin. And now we have the opportunity to present our Jordan Player of the Game, Greg Monroe. He notched his season high, and his scoring really seemed to set the tempo for his team tonight.
Just a sensational performance on a lot of levels, Ernie. Too many levels to talk about. Man, in some game, he's in the background. He doesn't get the chance to be the star of the show, but not tonight. He's the star tonight. Put him on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Greg Monroe was doing what he does best. He produced a massive game for them in locking down this win. The thing I like about him most is that a coach can use him in multiple ways. You can play him at power forward or center, and he can be just as good.
And that wraps things up, folks. Thanks for joining us. For Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, Kevin Harlan, and the rest of the 2K Sports crew, I'm Ernie Johnson. Good night, everybody.
It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello, everybody. Ernie Johnson here alongside Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. Welcome to the NBA on 2K Sports. Tonight, it'll be the Philadelphia 76ers going up against the Los Angeles Clippers. For Los Angeles, they're looking to come out strong and make their mark early. They have to look at this game as a great opportunity to do just that. A lot of bright young stars in Philly. And taking a look at the roster, Kenny, which player do you think has the best chance of developing into a franchise player for the Sixers?
Wow, this is tough because, you know, the young rookie Okafor's there. Got a lot of guys. I'm going to go with Nerlens Noel. I think he made his case for Rookie of the Year almost last year. He's a huge defensive impact. If he gets his offensive game to meet his intensity and his defensive game, he might be that guy.
That's a good choice, Kenny. But for $100, I'm going to go with Joel Embiid. He missed a ton of time due to injury, but when he gets going, he could be amazing.
I didn't know it was $100 on the line.
And that's the
it's a game show, Kenny. Jeez.
But here's the big question: is how long will Embiid be bothered by injuries? When will we actually see what he can do in an NBA uniform? And that wraps it up. Pay him. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you later.
I hit the buzzer. Supposed to let me answer the question.
We have an interconference affair lined up for you today as the Los Angeles Clippers come in for this one. We're inside the Wells Fargo Center, live from Philadelphia. It's the 76ers. Glad to have you with us for more NBA action. This is Kevin Harlan with Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony, and on the sideline tonight, Doris Burke. So the Clippers win the tip. All fueled up and ready to go. Let's check out who's on the floor, courtesy of Gatorade. Setting the floor for the Clippers. Inside, it's Griffin and Jordan. Chris Paul and J.J. Redick are the guards. And it's Mbah a Moute in at the 3 spot. And Redick kicks to Paul. Shot clock at 6. And Okafor with the block. Whoops, there's the 24-second shot clock violation, so they'll turn it over. Smith against Paul. Here's Cannon. Passes it to Okafor. Cannon dishes to Okafor. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
Well, clearly the 76ers were the youngest team in the league last season, and with all the draft picks they've stockpiled, they'll be the youngest team for a while, it seems. But if the youth can grow and develop, they could also be a force in a few years, too.
All right, now, gentlemen, 2 shots. Loose shots.
And that one falls for Okafor. To give you an idea of how young this 76er team is, at one point last season, Greg, Tim Duncan had more seasons played in the NBA than the entire active roster of the 76ers.
That's hard to fathom. I mean, we all know there's this youth movement going on in Philadelphia, but they still need some veterans in that locker room. Very hard for the young players to lead. And for all of the improvements he's made to his game, one wonders why Blake Griffin isn't a better shot blocker. I mean, he clearly has the motor and the athleticism, but for some reason over his first 5 seasons, he's averaged only a half a block per game. Where's the box out? Some easy second chance opportunities there.
Those kinds of mistakes drive me crazy and will absolutely derail a team's chance to win.
Good. Guys, that's just really unstoppable. He poses a ton of matchup problems for whomever he's facing.
And regarding Griffin's low block shot numbers, for some guys, they simply lack a certain field, Clark, for blocking shots.
Yeah, you know, there's something about the aptitude for shot blocking that sometimes is understated. Just because you're a high flyer in the front court doesn't mean you're going to block a lot of shots.
Here's Paul after the made shot from Joel Embiid. Picked by Griffin. Paul passes to Griffin. Good, and Paul gets the assist.
And he came off that screen, and the D just didn't get over the top of it.
Yep, weren't there in time enough to challenge Greg, and when that's the case, you can mark those up for him.
The defense ready for him on that possession. They had to be, because he is so strong in the paint.
And Griffin, here we go. Off to a good start as he hits his first shot attempt.
If you battle for the offensive rebound and come up with it, you're guaranteed a high-quality shot on a follow just like he got there.
Smith kicks to Embiid. Beautiful dish, and the layup goes down. Embiid's got 6 points.
The screenplay worked ideally there, and I'm not talking about the screenplay you see in a movie theater. Gave him more than enough room to get that shot off.
And that's what you want to see. Good, fundamental, sound basketball with the bounce pass.
The 76ers have gone 3 of 5 shooting the ball so far. And stolen by Jordan. Paul outside. Lets it go from deep. That drops.
Chris Paul for 3.
Just over 2.5 minutes played here so far in the first quarter. Smith outside. And it's a defensive 3-second violation. Philadelphia shooting their 3rd free throw attempt of the game.
And the season numbers for them at the line thus far are really poor. Something I'm sure they are making a point of emphasis.
And guys, that's really an upgrade over how they shot last season. Not a huge upgrade, but an upgrade nonetheless.
And Cannon, no good on that one. There's 14 seconds left to play here in the first. Landry, a screen on Crawford. It could go. No good on the buzzer beater. And that concludes the first quarter of play. Clippers lead by 4. Live from Philadelphia, you're watching 2K Sports. The second quarter getting ready to start up. And taking a look at Los Angeles' performance here, what have they been doing or not doing?
You know, it's been about how solid they've been offensively here, really tuned in with one another.
Good ball movement, and it's paid off on the scoreboard.
The 76ers trail by 4.
And guys, the Spurs coaching tree extends pretty far these days. Coach Brett Brown, another former member of the Spurs staff, to be leading an NBA team.
They've got Noel. Carl Landry is out there with Grant. Then it's Hollis Thompson. That's the group for Philadelphia to start the second quarter. Now here's Rivers following the shot by Carl Landry. Rivers kicks to Green. The fader. No good on the shot. A bit long that time. Well, Greg, for Brett Brown and the Spurs connection, he was an assistant in San Antonio for 7 years, was really indoctrinated in how the Spurs conducted business, Clark, before coming to the 76ers.
Yeah, he's got an interesting accent, too, a mix of Boston Australian from where he grew up and where he spent a lot of time, but no doubting his passion and his coaching ability. He's good in both.
He was actually a head coach for Australia for a while in international play. And it's the 76ers with the ball. After the miss from Crawford, just 5 on the clock. Too long in the paint. He's hit with a 3-second violation. And last year, quite a rookie campaign for Nerlens Noel. He had the ACL injury he sustained in college. Missed his first full season with the Sixers. And like you've talked about, you know, he came back and really, with a flourish, made a mark his first year in the league.
Yeah, and Kevin, a lot of people wondered, how would he bounce back from that knee? And I'd have to say it was pretty good. I mean, finished 3rd in the voting for Rookie of the Year.
And, you know, getting back to Nerlens Noel, if it weren't for the ACL tear, he may have been the first player drafted in 2K13. His 8 rebounds and nearly 2 blocks a game as a rookie show he has the talent.
A platoon swap here for the Clippers. Covington, that's in, coming off the assist from Thompson.
He always knows where his teammates are going to be, and, Kevin, that will let him put the ball where he wants it, right waiting for him.
And one thing to note about Nerlens Noel, last season, he was a thief. He averaged almost 2 steals a game as a rookie center. That tells me he has more than just quickness and length, guys. He has great anticipation and still one of the best motors I have ever seen.
There's 1:17 left here in the second, and he's going up for the alley-oop. Out of bounds. Philadelphia takes possession.
And that's just carelessness there. I mean, you have got to have your head in the game.
Some changes for Philadelphia. Okafor comes in for Carl Landry, and Stauskas subbed in for Hollis Thompson. 1:14 left now here in the second. Smith kicks to Embiid. There's the screen. Embiid with the screen on Paul. Back to Smith. Okafor with the screen on Paul. 5 to shoot. Out to the wing. And here's Covington from the arc. That is good. Covington's got 7 now in this quarter.
It seems that every pass they make is leading to a score here. I mean, that's just exquisite ball movement.
And that's because the ball is looking for the best shot, and it's really paid off for them during the run.
And the rejection by Embiid. Stauskas dishes to Smith. The pass to Stauskas. Here's Okafor. That's in for the first basket of the game after 3 attempts.
There it is again. On a lot of their possessions this first half, they've established great position inside.
Yeah, just getting the ball into the post has to be option number 1 for them right now.
Paul kicks to Griffin. This is his first chance at the line tonight.
Blake Griffin taking 2 shots.
All right, now, take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
The first one falls, and the Clippers making a change here. So 1 for 2 that time at the stripe. Here's Stauskas, defended by Paul. There's the feed to Okafor. And down it goes, jamming that one home.
And nice job again. That time to add to their lead. They're doing everything right at the moment.
Greg, you're exactly right. Good, solid, steady, no-frills basketball. doing it in all aspects of the game right now, and that's a hard combination to beat.
The clock runs out, and we're heading to halftime. Philadelphia ahead, ending the second quarter on a 12-1 run. And now we'll send it down to Doris Burke, who's standing by courtside.
Doc, looking at the offense right now, what needs to change?
We got to move off. We got to run our stuff. I think right now everybody's trying to win the game, which is great. But you do it as a team. You don't do it individually. It's a good quality when you want to win, but you do it together.
Coach, thank you for the time. Gentlemen, back to you.
Okay, Doris, much appreciated. And now for halftime. So we'll be back in just a bit to get the third quarter underway.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Well, 2 quarters down, 2 to go. Welcome back. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, and Kenny the Jet Smith as we start breaking it down for you. For the 76ers, the first quarter was pretty even. The biggest lead of the quarter was only 3 points as they traded baskets back and forth. They were a finely tuned unit in the second quarter, easily outscoring their counterparts and getting in front by 7 points at the end of the half. Let's start with you, Shaq. What'd you think about the 76ers?
Well, the shots were dropping for them. I mean, they was just dropping out of everywhere, dropping out the ceiling, dropping out the popcorn guy, man's hand, whatever. It didn't matter what the defense was. They found a way to get a good look almost every time. You just got to be patient, take as long as they need to keep finding those high percentage shots.
And Kenny, let's get your thoughts on the Clippers.
Well, they shot under 40% in the first half. There's your deficit. They missed some open looks, wide open. But overall, I thought the offense was stagnant. Look for their coach to draw up some specific plays to try to jumpstart them in the second half.
So that does it for us. Hope you enjoyed our halftime show. Now, we take you back to Kevin Harlan for the second half call.
Okay, Philadelphia, let's give a hand.
And the second half about to start here in just a few moments. Getting underway in the second half, here's the 5 for Doc Rivers. Chris Paul and J.J. Redick are the guards. Inside, it's Griffin and Jordan, and it's Mbah a Moute in at the 3, the small forward. Now here's Okafor. 7-point game, the biggest lead in the game.
They're forcing the ball inside, and it's working beautifully.
It really is. 5 out of 6 of their last field goals have come from the paint.
Here's Redick. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. Back to Paul. No one near him. And he gets it to go. Here's Smith.